Hello to all good people of the world. This is Paul Whittekin returning to you today with the Universal Law of Numbers. And I'm going to get back to the roots a little bit so we understand, just refresh our memory exactly a little bit about how this thing works. So basically, we're going to be speaking today about a special relationship between the number 2, 4, and 8, which is different than the special relationship that 1 and 8 have, and 2 and 7 have, and 4 and 5 have. So it's a whole different family of numbers, but this family of numbers generates the 369 code, as does that. And if people don't know what I'm talking about, we've been studying this scenario recently, and that is the one that has the special relationship between 1 and 8, 2 and 7, and 4 and 5. So we'll get started here by just doing some arithmetic and getting warmed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And it's always been that way. If we square the number 1, squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 is 9, 4 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7, 5 is 25, 2 and 5 is 7. 36, 49, 4 and 9 is 13, 1 and 3 is 4. 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 1 and 4 and 4 is 9, 169, 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361, 400, 441, 484, 529, 576, 625, 676, and 729. Okay, now, if we want to cube the numbers, we would get the sequence 189, 189, 189. 1 cubed is 1, 2 to the third is 8, 3 to the third is 27, 64, 125. 216, 343, 512, 729, 1000, 1331, 1728, 2197, 2744, 3375, 4096, 4913, 40, 58, 32. 5 and 8 is 13, and 3 is 16, and 2 is 18 is a 9. Now, if we want to explore it, it has a set of parameters that it abides by, rules. For instance, 4 times 8 is 32 is 5. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56, 5 and 6 is 11, it's a 2. 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 8 is 8. Okay, now, the easiest way to understand this, in fact, is doing it like this. But we will learn these numbers. I encourage people to learn these actual numbers, because these actual numbers, and in particular the 2 sequence, well, they're the most prevalent numbers, and you will understand how it revolves around 64, 490, 4096, and 262, 144, which are the only time that the 3 numbers match up. 2 to the 6th is 4 to the, 2 to the 6th, 4 to the 6th, and 8 to the 6th. Okay, these are the only times when all of these numbers line up, 2, 4, and 8. Anyway, we will kind of just 2, x to the 2 times x to the 3 is x to the 2 plus 3. So x squared times x to the third is x to the 5th. X squared, 2 squared times x to the third is 2 to the 5th. 4 squared times 4 to the third is 4 to the 5th, 1024. 16 times 64 is 1024. So 64 times 512 will be 32,768. So the special relationship going forward, basically, we know that 4 or 2 times 4 is 8. So 4 times 16 is 64. 8 times 64 is 512. 16 times 256 is 4096. 32 times 1024 is 32,768. 64 times 4096 is 262,144. 128 times 16,384 is 209,752. So the square root of 16 is 4, the square root of 64 is 8, the square root of 256 is 16, the square root of 1024 is 332, square root of 4096 is 64, square root of 16,384 is 128. The cubed root of 64 is 4, cubed root of 512 is 8, cubed root of 4096, 16, cubed root 32,768 is 32. Cubed root 262,144 is 64. Cubed root 209,752 is 128. So we begin to understand how the thing works together. So 3 times 4. X to the third times x to the fourth is going to be x to the seventh. 8 times 16 is 128. 64 times 256 is 16,384. 512 times 4096 is 209,752. 3 and 4 equals 7. 2 and 4 equals 6. 2 and 5 equals 7. 4 times 2 and 5. 4 times 32 equals 7. 128. X to the squared to the x to the fifth. 2, 5 equals 7. 16 times 1024 equals 16,384. So obviously we see how these numbers fit together, and we'll look at the two relationship a little bit closer. Now, basically, these two numbers are very helpful to know them because they're going to be the most prevalent numbers that we will run across by virtue of the fact that the universal law of numbers, I guess it says so. So we should learn how to do that, and we'll do it, and we'll see, because it goes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 40, 90, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096, 8192, 16384, 32,768, 65,536, 131072, 262,144, 524, 288, and 1048,576, and then it gets to this one right here, which is 209,752, which is the 8 there. 209,752. 2 and 9 and 7, that's still a 9, and 152, 1, 5, and 2 make the 8. So that comes like from that. Now what we want to just kind of understand a little bit is how twos, well, all 8 numbers are going to be 2 numbers, and all 8 numbers are going to be 2 numbers. But all 8 numbers are not going to be 4 numbers, because we see an 8 number here, 512, and over here we don't see a 512 because it skips. But if a 4 number is going to be an 8 number, it's going to be x to the third, 6, or 9. It's going to follow the 369 code. When a 2 becomes an 8 number, it's also 369 in this fashion, 6, 3, 9. Separated by 6, whereas here they're separated by 3. And between 2 and 4, they're just separated by 2. So we see that to get to this number, it's going to be, what it's going to be is, this is 8 to the 7th. So 7 times 3 will be 2 to the 21. 7 times 3 is 21, so 8 to the 7th will be 8. 7 times 3, 21, so it's 2 to the 21, which it is. And this 262144, it's 8 to the 6th, good. So 6 times 3 is 18, so that would be 2 to the 18, as it is. As it is. And I'm having a little difficulty here for a second. Bear with me, please. And we're looking at that. And I do want it up a little higher if I can, that's the thing. But anyway, we looked at that. Let's not look at that anymore because it's too much to look at. So basically what we see is at this juncture 64, 4096, and 262, 144. Those are very significant numbers because it's when this number is also a 4 number and it's also an 8 number. And this number is also a 2 number and it's also an 8 number. And this is a 2 number, a 4 number, and an 8 number. And it comes at the 6th. 6, 6, 6. As we will. Now, if we just want to look at this a little bit from a more conventional standpoint, we can, because it's good to know that what we're talking about here is what people do, how people do math. Yes, they do use radical signs, and you can. You can also use logarithms. Yes, you can, and it's the same thing even without them, which is what I point out. But anyway, for instance, log to the base 2, so we go 2 to the 1 is 2, 2 to the 2 is 4, 2 to the 3 is 8, 2 to the 4 is 16, 2 to the 5th is 32, 2 to the 6th is 64, 2 to the 7th is 128. Or log 4, we go 4 to the 1 is 4, 4 to the squared is 16, 4 to the 3rd 64, 4 to the 4th 256, 4 to the 5th 1024, 4 to the 6th 4096, 4 to the 7th 16384. And that's the 248751 code as it should be, as it must be, because 2 does go 248751 and 4 does go 714714, and 8 goes 8 to the 1 is 8, 8 squared 64, 8 to the 3rd 502, 512, 8 to the 4th 4096, 8 to the 5th 32768, 8 to the 6th 262144, 8 to the 7th 2097152. That's what it does, because it goes 818818, or even otherwise 181818, 181818. So that's the way it works with the number 8. So I hope you got some basic general understanding today of how that works. You see, 8 goes 181818, and 4 goes 714714, and 2 goes 487512, or 248751. Anyway, that should cover today's lesson, and as you can do with the 2, 4, 8 numbers, you have a relationship between 3, 6, and 9. And I just touched the surface with this, and even just using this first page, but understand how 2 goes down further. 4, for instance, goes 16, 64, 256, 1024, 4096, 16384. Okay, then it's going to be 65, 536, and here times 4 is that 262, 144. So 2097152 will not be a 4 number, but basically within that realm of numbers, you will encounter all of the combinations that you should see in algebra, because this is where algebra comes from. My name is Paul Wittekind. I'm signing out for today. Peace and happiness to the world. Boycott the Israelification, Zionification, occupation, infiltration, all of the claws of Israel over our government, over our intelligence spy community, just surveilling us beyond the KGB and Stasi, on steroids, to control us and to mind wash us, but to monitor us as it proceeds. If we don't resist, they will win, because they have every stooge with their hands out, ready to fill their pockets with money from these Zionist-funded, organizations through AIPAC, and the infiltration of it filters throughout the entire American society, especially in the areas that count. So please boycott Israel and stand up for American independence. And Christians cannot worship Judas and consider themselves Christians. I'm signing out. My name is Paul Wittekind. Peace and happiness to all good people of the world.